Number 13 for Colonel Crawford, who still remains perfect on the season as the number 2 ranked team in Division III. But the Eagles fly into enemy territory tonight here at Carey, where the 5-5 Blue Devils will try to relish an opportunity to score a major win over their league rivals. It's live and free Boys Northern 10 hoops on the way next, exclusively on the OH Report.
Here we go now.
Here we go now. Here we go now.
The exclamation point on the night for Maurice Ware.
The Devils and Eagles clash tonight in Carey. Northern 10 Boys Hoops tipping off your Wednesday night, coming up right here and now. Good evening, folks, and welcome inside of the Devil's Den. My name is Brian Skronsky, joined by the great Lynn Passett tonight, and this is the Bridgestone APM pregame show. And we got a fun game tonight. Physical team with the Devils, of course. You don't get to be state champions in football, and a lot of gridiron players out here on the hardwood, going up against a Colonel Crawford team that's experienced a lot of success, especially the senior class over the last 4 years.
Well, when you go deep into the football playoffs, it usually takes a good 3 weeks, sometimes 4, to kind of get that football mentality out of your body and out of your brain.
Sure.
We're hitting that point now where I think Carey is starting to make that transition. They've had a couple of really tough losses in the last couple of games, and I'm starting to see a different team now. So the big key is, will they have enough tonight to stave off a really, really good Colonel Crawford team?
We certainly saw last time we were over here for the Mohawk game that it felt like they were still about halfway through that transition from football mode into getting their basketball legs underneath them. So I'm interested to see how much they progressed here over the last couple of weeks. Let's talk a little bit more about Colonel Crawford as we'll dive into their team spotlight. This is a team that has not lost in the regular season since January 17th of 2020, Lynn, so that's 2 full calendar years plus a couple of days since they last tasted a defeat. So this is a confident team, always expecting to step on the floor and get the W.
I think the baton has been handed off from Upper Sandusky to Colonel Crawford.
There.
We saw the Rams do the same exact thing for about a 3-year stretch, and it was Colonel Crawford just scratching and clawing and trying to overtake the Rams. Well, I think they've done it, and now they have become the top team, the top dog in the N10. And they've done it with style. They've done it with outside shooting. They have an inside game. They really have all the key components you want.
And then they have a future Hall of Fame coach that you're looking at right there in David Sheldon, one of the best in the business. His teams are always overly prepared. They'll have a lot of sets, not only for the offensive side, but defensively too. They'll try to mix things up and get after you.
I'll tell you what, he got it honestly from his dad, Rob, who is here tonight, and we will be talking to Rob at halftime.
Looking forward to that big time. Let's take a look at the keys to the game tonight for Colonel Crawford. And for me, Lynn, you just have to handle the physicality. Do not get bullied here on the road, especially in front of the student section, the Devil's Den. It's such a neat setup that they have here, a cool venue. So for Crawford, they just have to be tough in the lane, which they've shown that they've been able to do so far this season.
Well, we know Carey's going to be physical, but I've also looked at our officiating crew for tonight, and it's a Toledo crew. Usually they let teams play. We'll see whether that happens tonight. If so, that is a little bit of a favor toward the Carey Blue Devils.
And the first and third quarters, huge this year so far for CC.
Absolutely. The first quarter, the Eagles have outscored their opponents 228 to 104.
Wow.
And in the third quarter, it's been the same thing, 204 to 124. So the first and third quarters have been huge for Colonel Crawford.
And for Carey, who last beat the Eagles December 13th of 2018, lost 5 in a row to this Colonel Crawford squad. Looking to get, obviously, a huge victory if they can dethrone them from the ranks of the undefeated. 44 consecutive regular season victories for the Eagles, as you saw in that last stat. But what Carey brings to the table is a lot of different guys that can hurt you. You never really know who's going to step up and be a big factor from night to night.
Not only balanced scoring, but balanced fouling. And that's going to be important because they cannot afford to get some of their key pieces into foul trouble. They need everybody on the floor. We saw Carey win the JV game, and the varsity needs to replicate what the JV team did, and that was hit the glass.
Defensively, Carey's been outstanding this year, holding their opponents to just above 45 points per game. It's going to be tough to try to keep an Eagles offense in check. The average is well over 64. So the keys tonight for the Devils, they just can't make it easy on Colonel Crawford. They cannot have their own mistakes, Lynn. Take care of the basketball and don't let the transition game become a big feather in the cap of the Eagles, because they can turn D into O just about as well as anybody that I've covered this season.
Turnovers are always a key in any high school basketball game, but when you're going up against an undefeated team like Colonel Crawford, you got to keep the turnovers in check, and they've got to hit the glass, something they've done very well, especially on the offensive glass so far this season.
Now Honor America with the playing of our national anthem, Star Spangled Banner, courtesy of the Carey Band. What a great venue they have here, Lynn. Such a fun atmosphere. It's a newer gym, but built kind of, I think, in the mold of some of the smaller, older gyms that you've seen in the past, and the student section back behind at an elevated position. You know, it's kind of a unique atmosphere that they have here at the Devil's Den.
Well, I am a high school basketball official, and I've worked this floor many times. I enjoy coming here to Carey. That student section can definitely kind of get to you. You hear what they're yelling, and sometimes it can get on your nerves and become a little unnerving.
For Colonel Crawford, though, so many veterans on this team, 2 All-Ohioans from a season ago. Mason Studer leading the way, 18.8 points per game for him, and his backcourt mate Carter Valentine, who's grown a little bit this year. I think he's closer to about 6'6". That's the 1-2 punch everybody needs to be concerned about when you go up against the Eagles. They really can dominate the basketball, and they can get a shot and shoot it at a high percentage just about any time they want.
Well, for Carey, the big problem is when you look at the stat sheet, you see 6'6", 6'5", 6'4", 6'3". Carey's got nothing really to go up other than 6'3" and 6'2" and 6'2". So they are outsized, and that's why hitting the glass, boxing out, and limiting your turnovers are the real keys to this game.
While Carey might not have the height advantage, they certainly got some big, wide guys. Jordan Vallejo, of course, comes to mind, and the wrecking ball that he can be in the paint. A lot of other real physical players like a Derek Lonsway. As mentioned, there are several football players that won that state championship that know what it takes, Lynn, to take the floor or whatever playing surface it is and just be more physical than the opponent.
Well, for Carey, they do have a lot of athletes. As we've mentioned earlier, they're coming off football, which is a completely different tool set that you want to use on the field of play. So now they have to rely on athleticism, where it was brawn, it was muscle, it was physicality on the football field. So they've been kind of spending the first month of this season looking for the ends of the football on the basketball, and it hasn't been there. Now they're starting to finally get refined and start to show the basketball athleticism that they need to have.
That'll wrap up our Bridgestone APM pregame as we are just about set for tip-off here inside of the Devil's Den. Take a look at the starting lineups for both sides. We'll begin with the home Blue Devils tonight. We have Bryce Conti jumping. He'll be joined by Derek Lonsway, Braden Young, Kemmerly in the middle, Anthony Bell, the leading scorer for the Blue Devils so far this season. And on the other side for the Eagles, who get the first shot of the night up. And the rebound's going to be collected by the Devils. Talked about Studer. What a season he's having alongside Valentine in the backcourt. Braxton Baker also playing guard, and then Feichner and McKibben are the 2 players up front for the Eagles. Here's Valentine in tight, collect his own miss. He's headed to the free throw line for a couple of shots. And that's something that I really think he's done a great job of elevating his game as a rebounder this season. A little bit thin in frame is Carter Valentine, but he gets inside the trees. Really a physical player.
Well, at 6'6", he's not afraid to go out to the three-point line and hit the three, and he's not afraid to go inside and use his 6'6" frame to rebound as well. So he's kind of a dual threat for the Eagles.
Carter sinks both. Crawford going to pick up half-court man-to-man defense.
Carey setting a lot of off-ball screens right now, trying to use the perimeter.
And then Conti lost the handle off the dribble drive, got bumped on the body. Eagles in transition, get a 3 from Valentine. Bottoms up.
Well, that's exactly what they want to do. Get him hot from the outside, draw that Carey defense out, and that'll open up the inside game.
First 5 points belong to the undefeated Eagles. Devils just looking to get a shot this possession.
I think they're going to be content to take their time, and kind of in football, you like to keep the ball out of the opponent's hands. That's kind of what they're going to try to do tonight.
Kick out to the corner, now back up top. Here's a 3 ball on the way, and matching at the other end, Braden Young from downtown.
Carey being patient, which you have to do. No turnovers as of yet, which is important.
Valentine drives middle off the kick out. Two-man game with him now. Again, trying to tack inside to the corner. Back-to-back threes now. Baker delivering this time.
Carey's got to do a little bit better job getting a hand in the face of those shooters and not letting them just spot up for that wide open three.
Camerly with a nice catch. And Conti, that's the second time that he's tried to go into the paint and turn it over as the scoop shot goes through the bottle from McKibben.
First turnover of the ball game there for Carey, so they went almost 2.5 minutes without tossing it over.
Camerly, follow-away jumper, and it's pure. Studer up and under move. Would have been an acrobatic finish. Now here's Conti. No three ball there. The second and third options not available either. But if you try again, Lynn, eventually it's going to go down, and it did for Young.
Well, we talked about rebounding. It's 6-2 right now in favor of Carey. They are wiping the glass clean so far, especially on the offensive end.
Both squads with 3 made field goals up to this point. Valentine fouled on the drive. Derek Lonsway called for the reach-in. And we'll see our first substitution of the night. It's going to be Jacob Maddie out onto the floor for Colonel Crawford. Feichner takes a seat.
Well, there's where the defense got caught with their backs to the basketball, and they just toss it right off their back, and it's an easy lay-in.
Mason Studer with his first points of the night. Young pulls the cork on a three. Nothing but nylon.
Off to a hot start with 8 of the team's first 10.
Ooh, how about that crossover and the Ashland University commit? Pretty play.
Always fun to watch somebody take the baseline with authority and know that they've got a wide open shot. Nice backdoor pass that time to Andrew Bell.
So Bell capitalizes, the senior on the board with his first 2 of the night. Braxton chased off the line. I think perhaps Conti got a piece of that shot. Now Young, who's had the hot hand, gives it up now. Conti receiving a lot of space on the perimeter.
And a big turnover for Carey. Every trip down the floor, you've really got to value that basketball.
Another giveaway for the Blue Devils.
That's their third. Eagles with just 1. Rebounds now are 7-2 in favor of Carey, so they're doing the job on the boards that they knew they had to take care of.
Devils half-court man-to-man defense, pressuring out on the perimeter. See Studer wearing that mask. Not sure how he got injured. In Colonel Crawford's last game against Lexington on Saturday, he did not have to wear the mask, so perhaps it happened either in that contest or at practice as he's called for the offensive foul. Another look here on the Burson Baker replay, and he did definitely drop the shoulder. Bolna China shop that time.
Yep, I thought it was a good call by the officials. He had nowhere to go, and when you're on the baseline, the offensive player takes responsibility for the collision.
Young pops up off the down screen, lets it fly. Strong rebound inside by Maddie.
Good, strong rebound. You got to like it when they go up and do it with authority.
Valentine really feeling himself tonight. Step back triple off the left iron. Nice feed. Good hesitation, and Maddie goes good off the square.
Suddenly Carey letting Some rebounds go to the black and gold.
Vallejo no touch this time from the outside. Hustle play though. Gonna get possession back for the Blue Devils. How about the big fella?
Showing his athletic ability underneath the hoop by tossing it off the Eagles, and it will stay with the blue and white.
Lobbing into Jordan. And that pass, hot potato too much off the fingertips of Young.
Fourth turnover against Carey, only one so far against the Eagles. Carey is surviving this opening quarter, which we have talked about in the pregame show. Colonel Crawford has owned the first and third quarters in every game.
They've got 90 seconds to work with here. 4-point cushion. And Studer, patient, got a clean look, and tipped into the hands of Jordan.
Let's see if Carey is patient here now and maybe takes the last shot and hopes to go down by just 2 at the end of 1.
Running through their motion offense. Vallejo inside. How about using that body, shielding off Maddie, and he gets on the scoreboard for the first time.
Nice pass by Conti inside to Vallejo, who had nice hands.
Studer steps into a triple and rains it through.
Inside of 50 seconds now for Carey. I'd like to see them just hold it for the last shot here, but it looks like they're going to gun away.
Came up short. Crawford holds him to a one and done. Chance for them to secure for the final shot. That's what their head coach David Sheldon is calling for. And Mason Studer, just one of those point guards you can almost always count on, no matter what type of pressure they throw at you here at the end of the quarter, that he can dribble it out and assure that you do get that final shot.
Enjoy watching Dave Sheldon. He's got the towel just like his dad. It is like watching a mirror of those two when they were on the sidelines.
Studer goes to work now, 7 seconds. Oh, how about the crossover? Lost it. Had the submarine down, and now the shot at the horn would have been good if it went. Off target though for Young, and after a fun first quarter, it's the Eagles off to a 5-point lead. The second-ranked team in the state in Division III off to a 5-point cushion here on the road inside of the Devil's Den. As Carey with the basketball to open up quarter number 2. Young certainly has not been shy about trying his shots tonight.
Key is to get good shots. Not the first good shot, but just get a good shot. Be patient. So far, Carey's been doing that.
30 seconds off the clock here on this possession as Young launches way too strong. Battle for the ball. Winds up in the hands of the Blue Devils and Ashton Hill.
Well, I talked about this Toledo officiating crew probably going to let them play, and so far only 3 fouls have been called. They're definitely letting them play.
Off the save and bounce from Braden Young as Vallejo comes through. Nasty foul that time as Valentine tried the lane, and he paid for it.
Not letting them play there, or are they? That was definitely a foul.
And that was one of those attempts at the block shot where you see in the NBA these days, if you come down that hard, sometimes they'll call the flagrant one. So Jordan, we know he likes to get his money's worth. When you're going to try him in the paint, he's going to come through. He's going to make sure that you're feeling it, Lynn. Especially if you're going to make the bucket, man, you're going to know that you came in through his territory.
Absolutely. He's going to be the controller of the key when he's in the ball game, and he wants them to be thinking about him when they go in there.
Got 5 fouls and 5 minutes of game time last time we were over here. So far, Jordan, just one personal foul tonight.
Illegal screen, that time good call. Nailed Ashton Hill. Did not come set, got the old, what we call in officiating, a chicken wing out there, and that's enough to get the whistle.
So we've got a football score, 21-14 Eagles with the rock. Their stud senior.
Carey would gladly play football.
Colonel Crawford, the top adversary right now in the Northern 10 in football. So this has just been a fun matchup all the way around, these group of athletes that both programs have right now.
It's always fun to watch the ebb and flow of high school sports, how teams that are a little down for a while kind of work their way back up to the top. Teams that are just barely off the grid of the top suddenly get there.
Here's the quarterback Lon's way. Pretty step through, and cleaning up the mess was Hill. Big block, Landon Kemmerly coming from the weak side.
Rebounds are 12-6 in favor of Carey. That's what they really need to do, is wipe those glass backboards clean.
Kemmerly bumped by Fickner down to the hardwood. So it'll be team foul number 3 against Colonel Crawford.
They got Valentine that time. Kind of looked like possibly that one could have went a lot easier on 32 rather than 11.
And that's what Coach David Sheldon is arguing right now with the referees. Yeah, there was no question Valentine not involved in the collision.
Yeah, they finally get Carson Fickler with the foul, and that's his first. Valentine was coming late to the party there.
Blow by for Bell, back irons it. Then another strong rebound. Battling inside was Maddie. Contested jumper, Valentine comes up short.
Carey doing exactly what they wanted to do coming into this ball game. They're just not hitting some wide open shots inside.
Moving the basketball well. As they launch again from the perimeter, a lot of threes.
And they hit the board again.
Jump ball is the call. McKibben came in, was able to tie up the Blue Devil. Another look here on our Burson Bakies replay. It's a strong offensive rebound inside that time from Putnam. But the Eagles with the quick hands.
Kind of thought Carey might come out in a zone defense tonight, but they are staying with this man-to-man. They got another turnover off the Eagles. That's their third.
3-on-1, Kemmerly lobs it up. Almost an opportunity for an acrobatic three-point play as Studer was underneath him.
That would have been a circus play.
A wild shot that time. And it's going to land Landon 6 foot forward on the line.
Most players would have just taken the foul and kind of stopped at the whistle, but he made sure he got 2 shots out of it and almost buried it.
First free throw of the game for the Blue Devils. And the first 2 are good from the hand to Kemmerly. Now here comes some of that zone look that you were talking about, Lynn, a 1-2-2.
Problem is the Eagles can kind of throw over top of that press.
That's what they're able to do. Valentine lost the handle. Trying to back his way in. You see the fast, active hands by Carey right now defensively. Reach in, foul on the floor.
Bailed him out of a travel call.
It's going to be the first foul against Kemmerly. 6 now against the Devils. So Colonel Crawford just 1 away from landing in the bonus. Valentine off the kick out. Wide open look, in and out. Another offensive rebound. Natty with the second try puts it home.
One of the few times tonight that Carey did not hit the defensive glass strong, and they gave Colonel Crawford 2 straight offensive looks inside.
Valentine almost picked the pocket. Now it's loose, and he will. 3-on-2 for the Eagles. Lonsway, the lone defender. 3 up, 3 down through the hole for Baker. Timeout taken by Carey as Colonel Crawford opens up their largest lead of the night. And this is the killer always for opposing teams, how the Eagles turn defense into offense. Pretty stuff right there. Fourth made 3 of the night for CC, who's got 10 total field goals already.
Well, we talked about turnovers in the pregame. Carey has 5. Colonel Crawford has 3. We talked about rebounding. Carey has 14. Colonel Crawford has 9. So Carey's doing what they probably wanted to game plan for this ball game. They're just not hitting some of those offensive rebound shots, those putbacks, and the turnovers they have had have come at critical times.
Blue Devils are going to need to capitalize with some of those second chance opportunities if they want to try to dig themselves out of this hole here. Clean feed inside. Kemmerly comes through. Love the look from Bryce Conti.
Very nice pass that time from Conti. It was in traffic, but he got it where it needed to go. And Carey staying in that tight man-to-man defense.
Valentine with Hill on him. Got him with the rocker, and even though he's fouled on the floor, will have an opportunity at the free throw line. 1-and-1 on the way for the senior.
Fouls on number 24, Brandon Young, his first 17 foul.
Ashton Hill doing the best he can against Valentine, but Valentine's got the inches and he's got the quickness on him, and that's just 2 pieces of the game that are hard to overcome.
Eagles a perfect 5 for 5 from the charity stripe tonight. Valentine into double figures, the first player to reach that mark, though he misses the second.
And Carey with their 15th rebound of the ball game, so they continue to do the job there. Now let's see if they can do the job by splashing one.
Comes up short, Kemmerly battling, and it's out of bounds. Last touch by Landon. Would have been a huge 3 had that connected.
You just kind of feel the momentum is slowly starting to turn Colonel Crawford's way, and Carey, you know, they've stuck as close as they can, as long as they can, but you kind of feel like they're really on the brink of losing control of this one.
Ball's loose, tipped though into the backcourt. Valentine wants a timeout. He'll get one. It's just going to be a 30. And really key these last 3 minutes of this second quarter for both sides, but I think specifically for Carey, already down by 7, Lynn. You'd love to inch a little bit closer here, try to go into the half, feeling real confident when you emerge out onto the floor for the third quarter.
Well, especially knowing that the first and third quarters are really Colonel Crawford's haymaking quarters, and if you can keep it within 5 and weather the storm again in the third quarter, you got a shot. But if you let this thing get up into double digits and then Colonel Crawford comes out with a nasty third quarter, it's going to be lights out.
3:02 to go before the half. This is the sophomore Carter Smiley handling.
Important to note that Colonel Crawford will be in the 1-1 now the rest of this half, and Carey still has 4 fouls to get before they're going to get to the line.
How about the two-handed throwdown right in front of the Devil's Den? So Carey serving up a little bit of offense off the D that time.
Conti at 6'1", definitely has the ups.
See if that can shift the momentum in their favor as they'll get a one-and-done clean stop by the Devils D. But they give it away. Reading the passing lane, end to end, goes Nolan McKibben. Devils swinging here near side. Trying to exercise some patience at the offensive end. Now another three. Finds its way through the bottom from Bell.
Big three for Carey. They needed that one bad.
Third trifecta of the game for the Devils so far as they close within 4.
I'm sure Colonel Crawford is going to try and be as patient as possible here as they could be, and they got a backdoor cut that time, and Matty made a nice move with the basketball.
It's a nice look from Baker. Backhanded bounce pass. So this will be a 2-shot foul for Jacob.
So far, the Eagles have not been making good at the free throw line. Kind of letting Carey stick around. Valentine missed the second of his 2, and now Matty misses the front end of his. And he misses them both. Another rebound for Carey. Their 17th of this first half.
Devils trying to get as close as they've been in a while. Young calls for the screen, gets one, draws the double.
If Carey doesn't take the last shot, the Eagles will.
Athletic play, Landon Kemmerly floated for about a half second longer than the defender, and then the scoop shot was nice.
Coach Sheldon wanted basket interference, but that ball was already through the hoop when Carey grabbed the netting.
Baker can't connect, but Valentine there. Offensive rebound and the stick back.
Points in the paint, 16 for Colonel Crawford, 10 for Carey. So that's been another big issue in this first half for Carey, and it looks like the Devils are going to hang for the last shot.
Young handling right now. McKibben on him. Calls for the screen with 7 ticks to go. Tries the left side, step back, triple hand in his face, but he buries it anyway.
Wow.
That takes us to the half. Carey with a spark of momentum as they pull within 1 of undefeated Colonel Crawford. Money right there, putting him into double figures as we close out the opening half. Stick around for the Bridgestone APM halftime. We'll have some stats analysis, get you ready for quarter number 3. You're watching live and free Boys High School Hoops exclusively on the OH Report.
Here we go now.
The exclamation point on the night for Maurice Ware.
Great game on our hands tonight inside of the Devil's Den. Carey, with a late run in the second quarter, has pulled within 31-30 of state number 2, Colonel Crawford. I'm Brian Skronsky. I've got Lynn Passett with me and a special guest joining us right now, Rob Sheldon, the father of David Sheldon, of course, the future Hall of Fame coach for Colonel Crawford and a Hall of Famer yourself. So appreciate you spending some time with us here and just looking to get some insight about what it's like for you as a father, watching all the success that both of your boys have had and, you know, this run that David's on right now.
I'll tell you, it's tougher for me to watch them coach than when they played for me, because all those stomach turning and everything that you have in coaching comes back when I watch these two guys. But they've both done a phenomenal job. They're very, very successful, and really a proud moment for Dad and Brenda.
How much back and forth is there between the brothers in terms of being competitive off of the floor with one another?
Well, if you were at our beach vacation when all 6 of them are there, it's not a pretty sight. They are very, very competitive. They scrimmage each other every year. Last year they played because of COVID, and they're probably both as competitive as what their father was, but Chris is a little bit more subdued. David is totally out of control.
Always has been, but we hear that he gets that a little bit from you.
Well, I thought I just used to sit on the bench, didn't I, Lynn? I didn't move.
Well, I can refer to my radio days of watching you, and I can refer to my officiating days when
Let's
I've
leave
heard
those
you.
out of here. Yes.
I'll tell you what, you have not only 2 great sons who are doing a fabulous job, but now you have transitioned into retirement, and I understand golf is like a daily requirement for you.
It's a tough job. You know, I have to do it every day. We're on a 36-hole golf course, and the golf cart is in the garage. I get to see all the films because of the huddle. Amy's having a great year also. And then another one of my sons is a head coach in North Carolina, and he, at this point in time, is in second place in his league. So very, very pleased of all 4 of those head coaches.
If you had one season, and I know you're going to say state championship, you can't top it, but is there a season that you remember maybe for the difficulties rather than the winning that you had to go through that you say, you know what, I'm proud of that season?
Well, it's probably that 87 team that Winford had never been out of the district tournament. And, you know, we beat Plymouth in the district finals, then went to Canton and won. And then Phil Gebhardt hit a shot in the first game of the semis at the buzzer, and then got to the state finals. And the community was so rallied around that group. And it's the beauty of high school sports, that it's what I appreciate about what you guys do, because I can see a number of games. There's a number of good young coaches coming up through the thing, and you guys do a great job.
Circling towards David and his team right now and what they've got going on, they got the 2 All-Ohio kids out there playing guard and haven't lost a game in 44 regular season tries. Does this look like a team to you that could be poised to get to the state for the first time in David's career?
Well, the beauty of what they have going on is they grew up with success. And this Mason Studer is as good a point guard as I've seen, and Valentine's a great scorer, but they also have 5 other role players that understand what's going on, and I do think they can make a run. If they get to the district finals, they'll play West Reserve, and then that'll be my other son, unless Willard and Hirsch dial something up special up there.
How does that go for you as a father when, and I know that it hasn't happened in the tournament, both sons going together, but last year they played each other in the regular season. How do you divide that up in your own mind when you're watching it?
Well, I'm sitting at home in North Carolina with a beverage in my hand, watching it on TV, and both teams are very well prepared to play each other. But it's one of the reasons I retired was the stomach just didn't handle it anymore. And now when I watch these guys coach, it's difficult. I wish this game would be pushed out, but Carey's playing excellent. They move the basketball very well. They're very athletic. And David survived the first half with Mason sitting down. So hopefully Mason coming back in at the start of the second half will help turn this thing around.
I just want to finish with one remark. You've talked about you're in the Wyandotte County Hall of Fame, you're in the Crawford County Hall of Fame, you're in the Ohio High School Basketball Coaches Hall of Fame, but the first thing you said to me was, it wasn't me, it was the players.
It absolutely is. And I mean, you can talk to Coach K, you can talk to anybody, and if you have players that are willing to buy in and sacrifice for the team, then you have a chance. You can have 5 All-Ohio kids that don't sacrifice for each other, and you're going to get your butt beat.
All right, appreciate the time, Rob.
Thank you so much. It was great seeing you guys again. Always a pleasure.
Enjoy your time in Ohio, and good luck with your short game when you get back home.
Hit them straight.
Life is tough.
All right, Rob Sheldon joining us, Hall of Fame head coach, father, of course, of David Sheldon. Thank you very much. Appreciate the time. So both players for each side back out onto the floor. Crawford with a 1-point lead. And with Rob jumping on, we didn't have a time to plug in and make our graphics for the halftime stats. But I can tell you it's pretty even, Lynn, in terms of the field goals. Carey made 6 in the first quarter, 6 in the second quarter. Ironically, they made 2 3-pointers in the first, 2 3-pointers in the second. And then for Colonel Crawford, got off to the nice hot start. 7 field goals for them, including 3 trifectas in the first. Cooled off a little bit, and especially at the end of that second quarter, just 4 field goals for them, 1 3.
We talked about turnovers. Carey had 5, Crawford had 4. So they have done a good job of keeping the turnovers to a minimum. Points in the paint is kind of where Colonel Crawford is making hay. They have 16 to Carey's 10, and rebounding is to Carey's advantage, 17 to 10. So Carey's doing what they wanted to do. Can they continue is the question.
They've got the basketball here to open up quarter number 3. As the Eagles come out in their 50 defense, half-court man-to-man. Nice pass inside. And off the miss, Kemmerly puts it through.
Well, they got the bucket and they got a rebound, so they're continuing where they needed to leave things off.
No answer at the other end for Baker. So Carey with the lead in the basketball.
A lot of folks around the N10 probably figured this would be about a 15 to 20-point win for Crawford, but you can't count Carey out. They are so athletic, and they're getting it done tonight.
That one spun out on Conti. Speaking of athletic, had the dunk in the first half, almost put that one through. Valentine so quick with the release.
Just splashes it beautifully. Such a beautiful release, beautiful arc on the ball. He's got all the tools.
And he's got 15 points to lead all scorers here tonight. As Kemmerly hanging, clanks it.
Carey has just had a lot of balls that just kind of are half in, half out, and won't go all the way.
Valentine, same spot, different result this time. And last touch, the official says, by the Eagles.
And it looks like Gary Ross-Bahalski is going to say, hey, I think I might have seen that differently.
They are indeed going to change the call. So it'll be Colonel Crawford basketball. And a good look here on our Burson Bakies Insurance replay. Definitely looks like Bryce Conti, 2 hands on it. And now Young with 2 hands on it as he'll sail in for an easy deuce.
Well, every time you start to think that possibly Carey is starting to wilt a little bit, they come right back with a big turnover in the bucket.
Blow by Baker. Then he had the up fake and puts Crawford back in front. Lonsway gives it up. Kemmerly off the curl. Sets up Conti. And a loose ball foul is going to go against the Blue Devils. It was Anthony Bell on the charge in.
I'll tell you what, I've been very impressed with Landon Kemmerly. He has got 10 points, been very active, and he's missed a couple of shots I think he'd like to have back, but he's very active and really brings a lot of energy to this Carey team. When you look at him, he doesn't look like a basketball player. He looks like a wrestler, but he is definitely energetic out there.
And got the Fu Manchu as well for a little bit of some of the intimidation factor. A good mustache at the high school game can go a long ways. Baker again off the drive. This time lost the handle. Right place, right time is Valentine. And eventually tickles the twine.
Now another big key possession for Carey as this lead balloons to 4 again for Crawford. So Carey's got to stop the bleeding with a Band-Aid.
Valentine over his season average for scoring now with 17. Skip pass this time, Young. Spins off a Studer. Quick first step in the shovel pass, Kemmerly.
You can tell that Carey knows they've got some shot blockers in the key, and they don't really want to go in there.
Studer's been quiet offensively tonight. Remains that way as he misfires there. Loose ball foul. Going to go against the Eagles and Fickner.
Fickner yet to score yet tonight. A couple of fouls to his credit. He just doesn't seem to be able to get himself into the flow scoring-wise.
Not a big scorer anyways, just 3.8 points per game for him on the season. Does his work inside, collecting 4 rebounds per contest.
I kind of like this matchup right now for Bell. I think he's going to try and get himself loose.
Here he is battling, had clean position, lost his footing though, as he nearly secured an offensive board.
And the 6'5" Matty comes in. Carey really doesn't want to drive. A lot of their shots are coming from 15 feet and out, and the ones that they are getting in the paint are coming off rebounds.
Want to say what's up to everybody watching in Facebook and YouTube land, and keep dropping us comments so we can get you on tonight's Fan Zone. As Studer lost the handle.
Wow.
Carey somehow came away with it.
Colonel Crawford now with more turnovers than Carey. They have 6, the Blue Devils have 5. Again, a missed shot in the paint for Carey. Those shots were falling in the first half, not falling here in the third quarter. Valentine really trying to make hay, and
it's going to get bailed out. Kemmerly thought that he stood his ground. Instead, it's going to go against him with the blocking foul. 2 shots on the way for Carter. And Landon, I think he makes a pretty solid case. Didn't move his feet.
Substitution for the Blue Devils is number 14, Ashton Hill.
18 for Valentine. He is the leading scorer for both teams tonight.
And 7 made free throws now for the Eagles in 9 attempts.
And now the Eagles with a 6-point advantage, so a big trip here for Carey.
Young off the screen, hesitation move. Got the switch with Valentine on him.
Carey does a decent job of driving like they're doing right here, but then when they get in the paint, they haven't been able to finish, but they do there.
It's Braden Young, the sophomore, floats it through, carrying the offense a bit. 15 points for him. From the free throw line, Valentine back iron.
I don't think head coach Jamie Young can coach any harder for Carey. He is really working it tonight. And now the enforcer is coming in. Jordan Vallejo.
Jordan listed at 6'3", about 270.
He's the gatekeeper of the key.
Oh, they lob it inside to him, fresh off the bench, missed it point blank range, but his buddy Ashton Hill got his back. Studer with the kick out, McKibben.
Whoa, jump ball.
Wedges it in there. Don't see that a ton.
Substitution for the Eagles is number 3, Derek Horsley.
And McKibben gonna take a seat after that shot.
Every time Carey kind of gives up a little bit of a run, they come right back with one of their own. They just cut it from 6 to 2. We'll see if their defense can get a shutdown right here.
Valentine to the middle. 3 ball on the way, fresh off the bench. Won't fall though for Horsley. And Mason had a foot out of bounds. So the ball back over to the Devils.
Good job of boxing out that time by Carey. They've been doing a great job on the boards all night long. 21-12 they lead on the glass.
Young with the push off. Studer got to the spot first, took a tumble, sold it a bit.
Excellent call that time. Got that extended arm out. Little play acting that time by the Eagles, but never hurts. Got to sell the call.
And it's a 3rd penalty against Carey here in the quarter. Just 1 so far for CC. Valentine had the ball pop right back into his paws, and he knew what to do with it.
21 now for Carter Valentine. Minute approaching here in the 3rd.
Young off the screen from Conti again. Another switch from the Eagles. They'll lob it inside. Valley Joe, Mike and Drill. Eagles got numbers if they can press it ahead.
Nice cut by Valentine and a foul. That's a good call against Ashton Hill. He's reaching in as the ball came down low. Right there, reaching in.
Substitution for the Blue Devils is number 10, Derek Lonsway.
Lonsway is going to replace Hill. 37 seconds to go here in the 3rd.
I would imagine Dave Sheldon will tell him, I want the last shot here. 6-point lead looks a lot better than a 4 or a 2. Boy, both these head coaches are working.
David Sheldon always is working that sideline.
Got that towel on his shoulder just like Papa.
And his senior point guard holding at center court for the final shot. Hero the frame. Checks the clock down to 7, goes to work. Mason with the crossover, draws a crowd. 3 ball up, good if it goes, and it will just before the horn. Derek Horsley closing out the 3rd quarter in style as we will head to money time with Colonel Crawford on top, 45-38. Just 8 minutes remain in regulation, so y'all know what time it is. Yeah, that's right, money time here on the OH Report. 7-point cushion for Colonel Crawford right now, but Carey with the basketball to open up the fourth, looking for some points. Here's Vallejo, missing from downtown, 0 for 2 from three-point range for him tonight.
Eagles outscoring Carey 14-8 in that third quarter. Once again, they made hay in the third.
This is the guy that's been getting it done all night long. Pretty jumper from the elbow.
Only player in double figures for Colonel Crawford with 23 and extending the lead now to 9. I believe this might be the biggest lead of the night too, isn't it?
This is the largest deficit for Carey, and they're going to turn it over. Young called for the double dribble. Costly. And no question about that one.
Feels kind of like if the Eagles can get this thing to double digits, Carey's kind of used all their energy and done everything they can just to keep it this close, and that's going to be a splasher.
Studer funnels it through, his first trifecta of the night. Eagles with the first 2 buckets here of the fourth quarter. Conti used all the rim that time.
Certainly did. 4 points for Conti on the night tonight, and one of the few times the Devils have been able to drive the paint and actually come out with a field goal.
Off the kick out, Baker unleashes, spins out. Conti soars, can't corral it, and now Valentine puts it through. And we're going to get a technical foul against Bryce Conti. He was chirping a little bit at the official. Certainly felt like he got fouled going for the rebound. You see he just turned and looked right at the referee right there. And I think I kind of read his lips. So a 4-letter word came out of his mouth, and it's going to cost him as Crawford already with the 12-point lead. Chance to add to it here, though. Studer, uncharacteristically, no good at the charity stripe. 75% on the season for him.
Might not be a bad time for Carey to take a timeout, just to kind of get themselves settled down and get a breath right now.
Eagles do get the basketball back. Devils not harmed, though. 0 for 2 on the free throws from Studer.
Yeah, the Eagles, that's one thing they haven't done real well tonight is shoot free throws. I believe I saw where they were a 65% free throw shooting team.
Kemmerly running the stampede. Loose ball, finally corralled by Baker.
And right now, Carey's using every ounce of energy they've got just to try and compete. That's going to be over the back right there on Carey. Excellent call. Young just came over the top.
Fickner with a nice box out that time. Studer dribbles his way out of trouble. Now Baker off the bounce, jump stop.
We got all 3 officials with a whistle, and I think the right call was made there with the player control foul.
I think I agree. Alexander Putnam stood his ground, got to the spot first. And so for the Devils, trailing by a dozen, got to start having more success offensively.
Yeah, they've really been struggling to get the ball in the hoop. Their last few shots have just been in and out, in and out.
And now a bad giveaway. Valentine back the other way, knife through the defense, but missed the highlight layup. Now here's Kemmerly adjusting in midair, collects his own miss, forks up a second one. Now Young from the foul line, puts it through. Timeout taken by Carey.
Well, they kind of needed a blow. I was surprised they didn't take one after the technical foul. This was a good timeout taken by head coach Jamie Young. They needed to kind of get their composure about them. They're still in it. They're only down 10, but time is now really becoming their biggest enemy.
He's got to start finding some more success, of course, at the offensive end. Carey playing pretty well defensively here tonight. Mason Studer has been held in check, at least for his standards, only halfway, actually 10 points below his season average, stuck on 8 right now. But Carter Valentine, he's had kind of a special performance here. He's been the mismatch problem all night long consistently, no matter who's tried to defend him.
Yeah, Valentine with 25, Young with 17 to lead Carey. But you can just tell Valentine is the best player on the floor tonight. He is able to score inside, outside. He's getting the rebounds. He is the man right now for Colonel Crawford, and I fully expect David Sheldon to tell his team, let's now start working the clock a little bit more. Let's make sure we're getting good shots. Don't take the first shot. Let's work it around and find a good shot. The clock is their friend right now. And only 2 team fouls against Colonel Crawford, so Carey's not going to be getting to the line. The next one against Carey puts the Eagles at the line.
As we're under 5 minutes to go, this is where Mason Studer really shines at the end of games. Such a poised ball handler, so gifted as he goes through the lane. Had a lot of English on that one. Kimberly didn't think that he should have been fouled, but it's going to be whistled actually against Braden Young.
Well, that time it looked like Braden Young could have gotten a step quicker and gotten there for some help defense, but he didn't get over in time and instead bumped Studer as he went in.
Studer missed both last time he was at the charity stripe. Makes good on his first attempt this time.
Kind of reminds me of Nick Dials, who used to play at Willard. Same kind of a build, very good ball handler, knows how to get fouled and knows how to hit free throws.
Speaking of Willard, Lady Flashers right now getting clobbered by Margaretta, 46-19 on our other live stream tonight. Polar Bears flexing a little bit on the road. Back to a 12-point lead here for Crawford. So for Carey, every possession so valuable, got to whack away with points.
Boy, they have missed a lot of shots in the paint so far in the second half.
And they're going to turn it over and just look at Jamie Young in anguish.
Only their 7th turnover that I have them for, but they have come at bad times for them. But the lack of being able to get those shots to fall is really hurting Carey here. They have not done much in the second half. Only 12 points for Carey in the entire second half.
Studer off the offensive rebound, collects his second here on the possession. McKibben from straight away. So 3 shots, no points for the Eagles. And Carey almost with a bad turnover.
Just how many times have we seen shots in the paint going up by Carey and they're just not falling? They have probably missed close to 10 shots in the paint.
Jump ball is what's been whistled by the referees. Possession arrow belonging to the Eagles.
Jamie Young protesting his case to the officials, saying we can't get a call. You're going to tell me we're driving every time to the hole and we can't get a foul? Only 2 fouls have been called this entire half against Colonel Crawford.
Eagles have done a pretty exceptional job in this game of using their length, going straight up defensively. As Kimberly comes through from the weak side and meets Valentine very rudely. Great job of blowing by the defender, but Landon, like he saw it coming from a mile away.
I'll tell you what, Landon Kimberly gave it everything he had, and he had to right there.
Looked like a volleyball spike. They reverse it. Now here's Bell. Not a good shot selection that time. Double clutched it. Studer no look pass to Carter.
It can almost feel like the energy is releasing from Carey.
And that might be the dagger. Baker, all 3 of those.
Lead swells to 15 now.
4th made triple in the second half by Colonel Crawford, and that one is crushing to Blue Devil Nation.
26-12, Carey has been outscored here in the second half.
Made such a strong push at the end of the second quarter to get back into the game. Crawford got the 3 at the horn in the third, and now taken over here in money time. Valentine whips it over to Baker, back-to-back buckets for him. And an official stoppage. I think a little moisture on the floor. And this was almost a steal for Carey on about 3 different occasions, but Valentine kept his poise, got through the traffic, and then the dish off to Baker.
Excellent court awareness by Valentine to know that I got 3 guys right around me. Somebody's got to be open, and he spotted the open man.
The 6'4 junior Braxton Baker, the second leading scorer now for CC with 14.
Most of those have come in the second half.
And so for Carey, you don't want to rush shots, but at the same time, you almost got to start trying from beyond the arc.
Yep, they've been trying from inside the key, and it hasn't been working. So fans yelling for a travel, but he did not have possession of the basketball. That was a key ingredient to that call.
Student section wanted to push off against Carter. And now here's Mason Studer bringing it back. He tipped away the ball in the last possession to create the turnover.
And
Under
now
2
the
to
Eagles
go.
are going to work the clock. And that's the right game call.
Eagles got him spread out 5 on the perimeter. And this is going to be a college player next year, folks, just showcasing some of his handles and talent.
Carey gave a great effort tonight, especially for that first half, but they just didn't have enough forces, and they have really used a lot of energy in this second half just to try and stay in it.
Just want to say what's up to Gary. Says, let's put some mustard on this bratwurst. Maybe talking about the block shot earlier. Maybe talking about Colonel Crawford. Where's the yellow? Maybe they're the mustard in this equation. Not sure what it means, but I like it. Eagles have taken over a minute off the clock here on this possession.
And they are running this 4-corner offense to perfection. Carey is in chase mode.
Now finally they will foul, put Mason Studer on the line for a 1-and-1. Chance for him to get into double figures.
And that's the 5th foul on Young. He will finish the night with 17 points.
Tops for the Devils tonight. Coach Sheldon emptying out his bench. And the Eagles Nest, the student section here in the house, they believe that their team has won, Lennon, in about 28 seconds. I think they're going to be right.
Well, I'll tell you what, when you only give up 12 points the entire second half, that's going to win you some ball games.
No free throw attempts in the second half for Carey either, so you understand a little bit of Coach Young's frustration because they really had tried to drive time after time. They've missed a lot of shots inside. There's been some contact, just no whistles.
Well, that's where the 6'6", 6'5", 6'3", 6'4" comes into play because they were swatting some and also deviating shots.
Coach Sheldon's going to take a timeout here, and I do have some clarification from Gary. So we know when you put the mustard on the hot dog, it means you close out the game strong, Lynn. So put that into your factoid box.
I thought maybe ketchup was the closing deal.
Now we know.
Yeah.
Mustard, game changer, closer, the Rivera of condiments.
Please pass the Grey Poupon.
Missed those commercials. Haven't seen one of those in a while. So this one, basically a formality at this point, folks. Colonel Crawford going to fly their way to 13-0 on the year. And a great performance by them in the second half defensively, really locking down Carey, who looked like they had a lot of momentum to close out the second quarter. Studer splashes them both.
Substitution for the Eagles, number 3,
He'll come out now and finish the night with 12 points. 25 for Valentine, 12 for Studer. Right there's 37. They're only 5 shy of Carey with those two.
In my opinion, the top 1-2 combo in all of North Central Ohio. E.J. Bowles finds his range from the corner. First made triple in the second half for the Devils. So the Eagles remain in the ranks of the unbeaten. 13 wins, no losses, and a 16-point margin here tonight on the road inside of the Devil's Den. Stay with us. We'll be back to wrap things up from Carey, including an interview with our MVP of the game. That's going to be Carter Valentine. That's coming up on the other side.
Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now.
The exclamation point on the night for Maurice Ware.
61-45 is our final score tonight here in Carey as state-ranked Colonel Crawford wins to remain unbeaten on the season. They move now to 13-0. Brian is off moving toward the locker room to find our player of the game tonight, which will be Carter Valentine. But let's first of all take a look at the statistics for tonight's contest. And the leading scorer for Carey was Braden Young with 17. He was also joined by Landon Kemmerly, who was in double figures with 10. No one else got into double figures for Carey. 5 for Anthony Bell, 4 for Bryce Young, 4 for Bryce Conti, and 3 for E.J. Bowes. Looking at the individual scoring for Colonel Crawford, as we said, Carter Valentine led the way tonight with a game-high 25. He was joined with 13 from Braxton Baker, 12 from Mason Studer, and then we had, 4 from Nolan McKibben, 3 for Derek Horsley, and 2 for Jacob Matty. And that brings them to their team total of 61. Looking at turnovers, we talked about that being a possible key to the game tonight. Carey actually kept them in check until the fourth quarter. They finished with 10, and Colonel Crawford finished with 6 turnovers on the night. Rebounding, we talked about Carey needed to get it done on the glass. They did. They out-rebounded the Eagles 26-18, but they lose on the scoreboard 61-45. Brian is now back. He has our player of the game, so let's turn it to him and Carter Valentine.
Game presented by HDER Link. Carter Valentine, excellent performance by you on both ends of the floor. Offensively, it felt like you were really comfortable out there with your handles, with your shot selection. Tell me about just how you felt at that end of the floor. No matter who was guarding you, it felt like you wanted to go to work.
It always feels good, but coming here always on a weekday. We've done it for the past 2 years. They play real hard, great defensive team, big football team, physical. So I think it's a great team win,
That was some of our conversation heading into the game, was the football players on this team. They might be the more physical squad, but tonight kind of felt like you guys were. Was that a point of emphasis for you to come in here and not get bullied by the team that just won the state championship in football?
Yeah, for sure. They're a real physical team. I think they out-rebounded us, though. We got to do better box out. Coach has been doing box out drills with us because, rebounds, kickouts. My bad, I've messed that up. Next question.
I feel like that's one part of your game that you've really elevated this year, a much better defensive rebound than I remember the last couple of seasons. Is that something that you are trying to do to make sure that that's a point of emphasis for you?
Yeah. Losing Chase last year, big boy down there getting rebounds. Coach really emphasized this year I need to crash the boards, box out. So, yeah.
13-0 at this point in the season. You guys 45 consecutive in the regular season. Is that any type of a motivating factor for you as a player? Is that even any kind of chatter within your locker room?
Yeah, for sure. But right now our goal is to win the league and then get back to that district. We got a lot of work to do from last year. So
took a big step in doing that tonight, knocking off Carey in the first matchup that you're going to have with them, and I believe you face them again next Saturday, so you get to see them real soon. But we always finish up the MVP with some shout-outs, so if you want to look into the camera, anybody who might be watching, you want to send some love to.
My parents and my teammates and my coaches.
And I've seen your parents here in the house tonight, so I'm sure that they're accepting your love, and they're probably watching from nearby. All right, Carter Valentine, our MVP, 25 big points for him. Appreciate you for joining us, man. All right, we'll throw it back over to Lynn.
All right, thank you very much, Brian. This was a key contest for Carey because coming into this contest, a win tonight would have kept them just one game out of first place in the Northern 10, but instead they're now seeing their chances for an N10 title slipping. Meanwhile, Colonel Crawford remains one game up on the Rams from Upper Sandusky, so a key win for head coach Dave Sheldon and his Eagles tonight. And I was very impressed. Carey fought tooth and nail. They clawed, they battled. They were physical the first half. I think they used a lot of energy to stay in this game for the first half. They just didn't have the horses in the second half, and that was the difference, only scoring 12 points in the whole second half.
Couldn't find the horses, couldn't draw the whistles inside. No free throws attempted for the Blue Devils in the second half, and for a team that's built like they are, that's something that they were expecting to get with all the dribble driving that they were doing. Into the lane, they got a bunch, Lynn, but we mentioned it a lot, mostly in the second half, that they were just missing at point-blank range, points in the paint, in Colonel Crawford's favor because of that. They weren't able to capitalize on the shots that they needed to tonight, and obviously that was a big hindrance for Carey. And for Colonel Crawford, you got to give a lot of credit. They've got the lankier guys. They went straight up basically the entire night defensively, and they made it hard on the Blue Devils to try to get those shots going in close.
Well, you can definitely tell that Coach Sheldon's going to have one thing he's going to probably work with his team next week on, and that is dribble penetration. Carey was able to get into the key, but the problem was they then had to try and get that ball over 6'6", 6'5", and 6'4", which they can't replicate in practice. And that does discern your shot and make you change your shot, and a lot of times that's why they're not going to fall. And we saw that in the second half time and time again. That shot just wouldn't fall for Carey because they were influenced by the height of Colonel Crawford.
And this team in this matchup is going to be fresh in Colonel Crawford's mind when they play again next Saturday, so it comes up pretty quick in between there. Saturday, Colonel Crawford going to Bucyrus, so you imagine they're going to pick up a win there over a Redmond team that's been pretty down. Tuesday, they get an interesting game. They get to play at home against Crestview, so very easily could be 15-0 heading into that second game with Carey, and could be a second straight season. We're looking at 22-0 for Colonel Crawford. What an accomplishment that would be.
Dave Sheldon does an excellent job, as does his brother Chris over at Western Reserve. They are both chips off the old block, and we saw the old block here at halftime tonight, Rob. It was great having a discussion with him. And I'll tell you what, the futures are bright for both of these programs because the JV team from Colonel Crawford is outstanding, so he's got talent still coming up to replace what he has right now. And I think they're going to make a real knock at the regionals this year.
David Sheldon never has been able to break through just yet into the state Final Four, so with all the pieces that they have back this year, it seems like it could be shaping up for a squad that could make the run. And I know this much, Lynn, they are motivated like heck from the way that their season ended last year when they were 24-0 and just got ran off the floor in the district semifinals against Willard. So that's a big motivator for them.
That is a sour taste in your mouth, and it won't go away. And the only thing that will make it go away is making it go away by winning this time, and I think they've got a shot at it. We'll see what happens. Season is COVID-riddled, so everybody has to navigate that. This time of the year, you're starting to feel a little beaten up and a little battered, so teams that can stay healthy have a real good shot at making it happen.
And Carey, it seems like they're starting to get their basketball legs under them, even though losers of 3 straight. The previous 2 defeats, real close. I believe just 4 total points tonight. A little bit different story with Colonel Crawford coming in and just doing what they do, flexing once again. Appreciate everybody out there watching here tonight. Our final score, once again, 61-45. Colonel Crawford now 13-0 on the season. Big shout out to our incredible staff who always makes us look really good around here. Jory Hollenbeck, our top cam here tonight. Also makes the commercials. Adam Thompson, our wonderful producer, mixes the audio and the video together. My name is Brian Skrosky. This is Lynn Passett. Thank you guys all for watching, and big shout out to our incredible sponsors for allowing us to bring it to you live and free right here on the OH Report. Signing out tonight from the Devil's Den. We'll see you on a live stream near you coming up real soon.